And we're back. Sorry about that, guys. Little technical difficulties. Might be something to do with the weather. We're not really sure what's going on. So we're testing some things, trying to get back to you guys because we love your faces and you guys deserve the best. And
here we are.
Shut up, Heather.
Can you feel the love?
Yeah.
Yeah. Me too.
You look over there, Tony?
I'm actually reposting the links.
Well, check.
I'm trying to get my phone to cooperate.
So anyway.
It's not wanting to do it.
Anyhow.
All right. Here we go.
Let's
see here.
If you guys are back in the chat, let us know if you can hear us okay. Trying not to
keep on going on that.
Yeah.
If you guys are back in the chat, let us know if you can hear us okay.
Yeah, that sounds,
sounds like it's all right.
All right, so we might have fixed this.
All right.
Thank you, everybody, for telling us to fix our
And
shit.
if it's still messing up, go fuck yourself.
Oh.
Wow.
Shots fired. So, all right, so we were talking about... Refresh my memory.
Who knows?
Who knows?
I have no idea.
All right, well... We were talking about our weekends.
Raptor turkey jerky.
Raptor turkey
yes,
jerky.
Turkey jerky.
All right, moving on from that though.
Moving on.
Well, let's get a little bit from Hannah since we've taken up, I don't know,
20 minutes.
20 minutes of trying to figure out what's wrong with this thing.
What it is you do.
So currently I'm actually in the dietetics program at Eastern Michigan University. I have my bachelor's degree in exercise science from Saginaw Valley. So right now I'm doing a little bit of the fitness, nutrition stuff, just trying to get people, just trying to educate people really. So, I mean, right now I'm doing like meal planning, basic nutrition assessments. I have an online course that I do. Just teaching people the basics about nutrition because I've realized that there really isn't a whole lot of nutrition education out there for people. And the more that I learn, the more it becomes apparent that people really just don't know what to eat.
Well, you offered one of those nutrition classes at the chiropractor office, and
yes,
that was fun to attend because there was so much information that even just understanding nutrition levels at a fundamental level, I mean, you covered it all.
Right. And like that's one of those things is if you don't get your information from a good source, like you look at your Facebook feed and you have one person telling you to like drink this juice diet and then another person telling you that you need to have only fruits and vegetables and another person telling you that you need to eat all the meat. Like what do you actually pay attention to? So I mean, I try to share just most of the most basic information that, I mean, people can kind of pay attention to and know that it's good information.
Isn't it kind of just different for everybody, though? Like what they should be eating?
That is true. So, I mean, on a very basic level, everybody's going to be different and everybody's going to have different needs. But, I mean, these posts are saying that certain foods are good for you and certain foods are bad for you, or there is a definitive way for you to eat. And it is more or less that it is different for everybody and not so definitive.
Right.
Well, what's the biggest, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the biggest fallacy out there when it comes to nutrition?
That fat's bad for you and fat makes you fat.
Okay. Elaborate on that, if you will.
Okay. So this kind of gets into one of my favorite topics, which is sugar and fat and the issues with them kind of go together. So I don't even know how long ago it was, but it was a while ago. The sugar industry came out with a study that put all of the blame for like heart disease and high blood pressure and all that kind of stuff, kind of shifted all of the blame on saturated fat. And come to find out years later, there was this whole conspiracy where the sugar industry paid off the researchers in order to make sugar look good and say that it wasn't sugar's fault. And now all of these studies are coming out with all of the issues that sugar has. And really, you need saturated fat. You need cholesterol. You need fats in your diet. You can't create hormones that you need without fat. So, I mean, it's really kind of the tables are turning. and sugar is the enemy.
See that? I'm actually healthy.
So you're saying the government pulled the whole mafia extortion thing when it came to sugar?
Right.
It's
And I
always
mean,
it's always the government.
well, and then just recently, like you have to watch out for who, when you look at research, you have to look out for who funds the study. So for example, there was just a post about how the American Heart Association didn't recommend coconut oil because it was a quote unquote saturated fat. That it isn't good for you, was never good for you, and there's so many issues with coconut oil. While coming to find out, it was funded, pretty sure, by the Canola Oil Foundation. The funding is coming from, I mean, and like the sugar company was funding these studies against saturated fat and making sugar look halfway decent. I mean, it's kind of one of those things. Yeah.
They've done that a lot. I mean, like with the whole milk thing and all kinds of different things.
So, I mean, it makes it hard for like anybody to really even trust any government recommendations, which kind of sucks because, I mean,
the FDA is a conspiracy.
wow,
Everything's a conspiracy, Tony.
everything's a conspiracy.
Even raptor turkeys.
Raptor turkeys.
I'm convinced.
Raptor turkeys were funded by the government.
That explains a lot.
They're in cahoots with Bigfoot.
So, for those of you wondering, coconut oil is good for you, and you don't have to be afraid of cholesterol.
With the coconut oil.
Right.
Okay.
Like, and I mean, even like I have people ask me, like, can I eat eggs or not? Like, because I mean, for a long time, like egg yolks were like a big no-no because of all the cholesterol. It's not a big deal. It's actually good for you. You need it. Eggs are really good for you.
The problem is the bad cholesterol, not the good cholesterol, right?
Well, the issue is that your body makes cholesterol, and that the cholesterol that you're getting from your food is not actually directly related to the cholesterol in your body.
Okay.
So dietary cholesterol has no impact, and the government recommendations actually just finally completely took cholesterol out of, like, they used to have a limit on how much cholesterol you should have a day, and they actually just finally took that out because there were enough studies to show that cholesterol and the diet didn't have an effect on bodily cholesterol. It had more other effects on overall eating and exercise and that type of thing, because your liver is what is actually creating cholesterol, whether it be the quote unquote good or bad cholesterol. It, depends on, like I said, the overall the way that you're eating and exercise.
So you could eat a ridiculous amount of bar food, fried foods, whatever, and not exercise, and then create a ridiculous amount of cholesterol because your liver's like, nope, I'm giving up.
Right. Yeah, there's definitely certain eating patterns that are gonna, not be great for you. But
Oh,
I just
don't
eat
follow
whatever.
him. Yeah.
I just eat whatever and hope for the best.
Yeah, I used to do that. Look
No.
at me. It's time to change my ways.
Yeah.
So,
Now you do a blog also, right?
yes,
Okay.
yes, my blog is Absofruitly. So absolutely, but with a health and fitness twist. So that's ABSSOFRUITLY.
For people like Tony who can't spell.
I are a good speller.
okay. And I was wrong. So
See?
we had this discussion in the past two podcasts and what it was.
I think
And I
I
was
heard one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. That was me giving
Thanks
false
for listening.
information.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, for the most part, I have a pretty crazy schedule with school and stuff, but I mean, I try to be somewhat consistent, posting at least every other week, whether that be workouts or just basic nutrition science information. I just recently posted something about fasting. So I did a 24-hour fast a couple weeks ago. And I kind of wrote about my experience and wrote about what the benefits are of fasting, because there actually are like extreme benefits from practicing that, not only for 24 hours, but prolonged fast, so 48 hours and then up to like 4 to 5 days.
I'd be too concerned on what that would do to my mental health.
Now, how does that actually work? Because I know there's a lot of people that, oh yeah, I'm fasting for this, I'm fasting for that. And then there's also the biblical elements of fasting.
Right.
Explain to us how that works.
So when you fast, I don't know if anybody is familiar with the ketogenic diet, but the ketogenic diet is high fat. You burn ketones, you're burning your fat rather than burning carbohydrates. Fasting works in the same way, because once your body runs out of glucose stored in your muscles, then your body's going to start burning fat.
Right.
So a lot of people do it for weight loss reasons. So for example, intermittent fasting is a 16-hour fasting window and an 8-hour eating window. There are some variations of that, but that's the most basic form, where for each day you fast for 16 hours and then you only eat in an 8-hour window, and that helps to kickstart what is called ketosis and using fat for fuel. When you do longer fasts, it actually produces stress responses in your body, and your body adapts to those stress responses. And that way, like there are things called autophagy, and that's when your cells actually clean up and actually kind of almost self-destruct. And once,
Really?
yeah, it's and that this is in more of like the prolonged fast where you're doing a couple days, but that's actually what's good for cancer, because if your body has a stress response and it's cleaning up those cells, it's a lot of times it's cleaning up like bad cells, like cancer cells and stuff like that.
Right,
So
right. The free floating radicals or whatever
Yep.
they're called.
Yep. And I mean, it's really good for inflammation as well, because once you're burning these fats and that type of thing, it's the same thing with the ketogenic diet. Carbohydrates have or I guess they would increase, they have a positive effect on inflammation. So if you're if you're kind of in that ketogenic state, or you're burning ketones through a fast, you're going to improve your inflammation as well.
Gotcha. Well, I definitely need to go back on your blog and reread that, because that sounds great. I want to do that.
Well,
Seriously.
what about people that have like diabetes or issues with low sugar?
So that is something that a ketogenic diet can actually improve fasting glucose levels. So for me, for example, I do have an issue with low blood sugar, and for anybody that wants to attempt fasting that has issues with blood sugar, I definitely recommend starting with the intermittent fasting first.
Okay.
Now,
And
is the intermittent sorry,
No,
said that wrong. Is that with the drink you can actually still drink fluids?
yeah, so any of these fasts, usually you can at least still have water. Some people like to exclude coffees and teas. Some people include them. They are 0 calories, but the caffeine in coffees and teas have extra metabolites that do cause some chemical changes in the body. But that's more of a personal preference. When I do longer fasts, I do drink coffee and tea just to kind of get me through, or else I'd never make it. But for intermittent fasting, I don't. I have my coffee, which for me, my coffee has MCT oil, which is a coconut derivative. And sometimes I'll put butter in it, or lately I've been using cacao butter, which is from like the cocoa bean, like the straight fat from the cocoa bean.
Yeah.
And then I'll put that in there, and I will start drinking my coffee at around 10 o'clock, my first actual food at noon, and then I'll be done eating by 8 o'clock.
Wow.
But that's how I would say to start off, especially for people with issues with blood glucose, just to kind of get a feel for it and get started. Then once you're comfortable with that and you're not having any issues, then I would go to the 24-hour fast. And then even like especially like talking to your doctor about doing a fast if you have, severe diabetes and severe sugar fluctuations. For me, it's more of an intermittent thing that comes and goes, but I do notice when I am practicing fasting, when I am avoiding carbohydrates and eating a higher fat diet, I do not notice the issues with the low blood sugar like I used to. Like it used to, like I went to the doctor for it multiple times just because I would get shaky and I couldn't function, and my brain just didn't work. So I've had less and less issues with that as I subscribe more to the ketogenic diet. And I guess I don't even really subscribe to the ketogenic diet. I'm more just conscious of carbohydrates and what carbohydrates I'm putting in. A lot of people get confused when they think they hear people like me talking about this. Oh, carbohydrates are bad. You can't have carbohydrates. They're like it's like one spectrum to another. But yes, you do need carbohydrates. It's just, I mean, especially even if people are having the average diet where they are eating a majority of carbohydrates, you still have to choose them correctly. Like,
Right.
That's the important part.
yeah, I mean, so like I talked about the sugars before, refined carbohydrates, all of your white or bleached flours and stuff like that, all of those baked goods that are white or bleached, I mean, really not doing a whole lot for you. If you get more whole grains and whole wheats, those have extra fiber and protein, and it's going to be a lot better for you.
So Joey's complete diet is probably not good.
Well,
Not to single you out. I'm just
Why are we putting me on this in the spotlight? I
because you're
mean,
being quiet over there, so we had to bring you back.
well, I'm trying to figure out things.
So, when you
Life and
say
stuff.
yeah, life
there's a
and stuff.
lot of health benefits to fasting as long as you're paying attention to how you're doing it.
absolutely. And honestly, the thing with like a 24-hour fast, if you're drinking water and it's not really a big deal. I didn't notice any issues with blood sugar, and I went on like an hour and a half hike that day. Like
Nice.
it wasn't that bad.
So, how much water are we actually supposed to drink? Because I've heard
Way
of
more than you think.
Right. If you like, even when you stop, you should still be drinking. Pretty much is what they're.
So if you just want an easy way to figure it out, take your body weight in pounds, divide that by 2, and that's how many ounces you have to have minimum.
Oh man.
We're gonna be
Too
here
much
for a
water
while.
for me. Yeah, exactly.
So that's your minimum. So if you're doing any exercise, losing any extra fluid in any way, if you're drinking coffee, which is, I mean,
A natural diuretic.
yeah, exactly. You need more water.
Isn't it like 1 cup of coffee or tea because of the caffeine? You should drink another cup. of water.
Yeah, you should
Like
have
it
like
cancels
equal,
it
yeah.
out. Okay.
I mean, that's kind of like popular belief. Some people, go back and forth with that because, I mean, it is still quote unquote water, but I mean, it's kind of one of those things that's up in the air. But another way to think about it is however many calories you eat in a day, that's how many milliliters of water you need. So for most people, they follow, I mean, the average is about 2,000 calories a day. So you're looking at 2,000 milliliters, which is 2 liters of water. So, I mean, as you can imagine, you think of a 2 liter of pop. That's the minimum of how much water you should be having each day.
Yeah, I had a calorie counting app on my phone for like a day. I'm like,
That's some commitment right
I'm
there.
like, I'm gonna try this, and
Yeah.
then I'm like, nah, I just really want this pizza though.
My sister has one for walking, so it'll say, "Oh, you got your steps in today," and she's like, "Man, or you had more than your steps today." She's like, "I'm overachieving. It might start wanting me to do more now."
Yeah, and I couldn't even imagine going on a fast because I have low blood sugar, and I just like if I skip breakfast,
Do you
I'm
get
like,
do you get grumpy?
oh for sure.
Is that why that whole like Snickers bar commercial thing came out? Like you're not being yourself. Have a Snickers.
I agree with that completely. I turn into a raging asshole when I don't eat.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, that's cool. So now with your blog, you post just whatever it is that, like say a Facebook post. What was the one we were talking about in the nutrition class? What was it, like the almond tree and the B17?
Yeah.
Just absolute absurdity.
Yeah, exactly. There's stores out there that are just like absolutely crazy stuff that, I mean, I don't have like my full education yet, but it's stuff that I've never heard of before, even I mean, I've had sports nutrition with my exercise science degree. I've, taken a whole certification course for nutrition. I've, started my master's program, and there's just some stuff that people bring up. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Like,
Yeah.
where did that come from? But yeah,
Seems like so much information.
and that's the thing that like people get so overwhelmed with everything. And like, that's when I see clients, that's one of their issues that they come to me with when I ask them like what they want to know and what they want to learn. They're just like, I don't know what to pay attention to. So that's why, I mean, whenever I see, like I follow like a ton of different people like on Facebook, Instagram. And so whenever I see like a good science post, I try to like repost it and share it just because there's so much bad science out there. I'm trying, like, I know I'm only one person, but I'm trying to like filter out all of like the bad stuff. And yeah, it's just amazing. Like the things that you'll see out there. But I don't know if you guys, oh gosh, what was that movie that just came out? It was, I'll have to look it up. But
Guardians of the Galaxy, because there's a lot of exercise and stuff happening in that one.
It's a dance off.
Shout out to Kurt Russell. He was fantastic in that movie.
I love the whole little.
Well, I know you guys
thing.
got that the DVD there called at the chiropractor office.
Mhm.
What's it, the Vitamin Move or whatever it is?
yeah, we just got a new one in.
That was interesting. I was watching some of that stuff, and I mean, I've heard, and you went over some of that in the class too,
Yeah.
that you pretty much piss your vitamins out.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
so they're just waste mostly.
well,
I mean,
okay. That the specific there is that you excrete what you don't need. So all of these people that are like macro dosing vitamins, like why? You're peeing away your money. Literally. I mean, unless it's a fat soluble vitamin, which there's only 4, A, D, E, and K,
Right.
which means it's stored in your fat. It needs fat to be transported. Unless it's a fat soluble vitamin, it's just getting dissolved in the water in your body. And then the issue with fat soluble vitamins is that because they're stored in your fat, it's more likely that you're going to have an overdose effect. Like, for example, vitamin A, in your body right now, you have up to a year's supply of vitamin A without needing any extra nutrition.
Really?
Yeah.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Because I've read a lot about chiropractic and stuff, and
Mhm.
I hear that chiropractors actually do more harm than good. And I don't know how much of that is true because I've been reading it a lot lately. And I know like Joe Rogan goes over it on his podcast.
Oh, I love Joe Rogan.
he's
Shout out
my-
to Joe Rogan.
He's my hero.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. I think it's really dependent on the person. A lot of people have a lot of people have great relief when they go to the just working in a chiropractor's office.
Yeah,
Like people come in and they absolutely love it. So I honestly am not even really familiar with that stuff.
I mean, I have no doubt that they like actually like crack your back and
Right.
it feels good or whatever. It's just like I feel like it's not as I don't think it's as magical as people make it out to be.
Kind of like a placebo effect.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
for me, I've been in and out of chiropractic care for years just because I jacked my back up. But when I went to go see Doc Sala, shout out to Doc, it's been, 3 years, I think? Yeah. And I went in there and I was on the couch for 3 days. I couldn't even get off the couch. And then finally I was like, nope, not dealing with this anymore, and gimped my butt into the office. And he's like, okay, here's the thing. It's going to get worse before it gets better because you're so misaligned and you've got birth defects, which explains even so much more. That when I was finally properly aligned, then I just went there for maintenance.
So how can you tell that you had eaten lead-based paint as a child?
I told him.
That movie that I was talking about, What the Health, it's on Netflix. I know a lot of people were talking about it. It's
Oh, okay, yeah.
like where it's mostly kind of it's a documentary kind of bashing like eating meat. It's very much vegan and vegetarian based, and
that's another thing. Like I heard a lot of like vegan and vegetarian diets that aren't actually that nutritious too. So
they can, that's the thing, they can be, but you don't have to know exactly how to plan them because you aren't getting certain vitamins and you aren't getting certain nutrients that you would find in meat. So
Yeah.
sure, you can make it work, but it's a pain in the ass to try to figure out exactly what you got to eat.
you hear that, vegans? Stop acting like you're better than me.
But the supplement company that I order from, Onnit, ONNIT, shout out to Onnit, they did a rebuttal for What the Health, and they actually took real science and real articles and posted them in this one big compilation of an article that said, basically what you're saying is BS. Like,
So they called him out.
They totally called him out.
That's awesome.
Yep. So this is just the caption on their post. It says, with claims that eating one egg is the equivalent of smoking 5 cigarettes, or that diabetes is never caused by eating carbs, we felt the need to shed a little scientific light on a film that is leading to a new revival of going vegan. So, if you guys watch that movie and have any questions about that, like definitely check out the What the Health, the Ultimate Rebuttal on the Onnit Academy. If you go on Facebook and just search for Onnit, they'll pop up, and if you just scroll down, it was a post on August 31st, and it's definitely something to look into. It's just so interesting. It's one of those things where where you've got science coming out, and it's funded by, I'm sure it's funded by so many different vegan and vegetarian based companies. And and I'm not saying that plant-based stuff is bad. Like, I use a plant-based protein because it's more easily digestible.
Right.
It's
Could you
just
send
that,
that link to us so we can post
Yeah,
it on
absolutely.
our page?
Yeah, and
sounds
then-
like an interesting read.
And I have another question too.
Yeah.
Like for some of our listeners or just in general, when we post on our page about, you being here today, what is the best way to contact you? Like, that will tell everything that's available that you do.
The best way to get kind of an idea of what I'm all about is either directly on my website, which is absofruitly.com. So ABSSOFRUITLY. And then on all social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest, I am absofruitly. I usually post daily to Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And there's if you go to my blog post, there's a sign up, so you can get signed up for my newsletter. You get notified whenever I post a new blog
I
post.
love that newsletter.
Whenever I post a new blog post, probably I'm going to start doing weekly, where I just kind of compile the newest nutrition research, exercise research, and send it out to you if you want to read about it. And then anytime I'm offering new services or new online courses, I'll send those out to you too.
So check that out and give her a read.
Yeah,
And if you're looking for another interesting read, you can check out Preparing for SHTF
yes,
on Facebook
yes.
and get some free Kindle books to
Yeah.
read.
Every day they put new free Kindle books on there. You can just go and download them. And if you don't have a Kindle, you can actually download the app to your phone,
Nice.
which is sweet because these books are free. I mean, we've downloaded what,
I downloaded probably
20 books now?
something
Yeah.
like that.
No,
But,
are they just like, is it a specific?
There's all
What?
kinds. It's mostly survival stuff,
But
Okay.
it's
But-
all over the map. There was one
Yeah.
about exercise. There was one about goodbye to mortgage. There was
Yeah.
one.
Hmm.
What was the electrical bike one?
Oh yeah, it's something. Let me look it up. I got it on my phone here.
But yeah, we'll put all the links on our page, guys. So if you want to find this stuff out,
it'll be at the end of the show. We'll
Yeah.
post them. So
And that's a very clever name that you have for your blog and everything. And I have a question because I was curious. I'm looking at the apple
Yes.
and there's abs there.
The apple.
Whose are those? Are those anybody's in particular?
No, they are not. That was just a random Google search that I found out. I literally looked
Nice.
up fruit with muscles.
I was wondering. I'm like, I
Yes,
wonder
no.
whose abs these are.
I wish I had that talent.
that book is called A Practical Guide to Electric Bikes.
a
actually-
practical guide
It's
to it.
actually pretty interesting. And then
Yeah.
they have another one. It's called 40 Years of Fur Trader.
yeah.
And I started reading
great.
that, and it's actually a pretty interesting book.
And that's what's nice about these books is they're fairly a quick read. I mean, I think that First Trader one was only 78 pages.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I haven't finished it yet though because I'm retarded. So
But they're all great books to just kind of get you thinking
Well, to
outside
have
the
them
box.
too, just to have for a free book. I mean,
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
why not? It's free, and like they've got like some $7 books and stuff that they're just giving away.
Yeah.
It's definitely
And they
interesting.
post, I think Darren said it was what, every day at 10 o'clock?
every day at 10 a.m.
10 a.m. Yeah. For the free books that they give out. I mean, list off some of the ones that are on there, Joe.
Well, I was gonna say here's one that you might like. It's called Sweat is Magic: The Most Popular Fitness and Workout Routines All in One Book.
Nice.
So
Nice. I do have some questions in the chat.
Yeah.
Quite a few of them actually.
Wow.
So I'm going to go ahead and catch up with that. And first question is, how much meat can I eat?
oh,
It says meat though.
misspelled meat.
Isn't that
That's
based
okay.
off
It
body
happens.
proportions?
Yes. So meat is essentially protein. Different types of meat have different protein contents, and depending on your body weight, lifestyle, and physical activity, you're going to need different amounts of protein. So that therefore it's going to be different amounts of meat. This stuff gets really complicated. So that's
I can
the thing.
imagine,
It
like the
does.
gist of it.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is like I want to point out with like certain people, like I get questions all the time, like, can you just give me some like diet tips? Like, what is a good, like, what are healthy foods? What's a good like way to eat? And I'm just like, you don't understand. There is so much more complexity. Like, I need to sit down with you for at least a half an hour, and I need to have you fill out 10 pages of paperwork before I can even start to give you recommendations. And like, that's the thing, is like, I want to help people that like just shoot me a Facebook message and I want to like tell you what to do, but I can't. Like, I need like, I mean, I'm in a Facebook group that, I mean, it's just kind of like a big community of people. And somebody did post earlier today, like, does anybody have any diet advice? And I commented back, I was like, okay, I need to know
What specifically are you talking about?
What type of diet you're looking for? You want to completely change your diet? Do you want to just do a few little changes and eventually go to a bigger change? Do you want are you physically active? Are you inactive? Are like
Sitting on your couch eating Cheetos?
Yeah,
Exactly. I
exactly.
totally didn't do that today.
Because again, it's all case by case, right?
Yeah, exactly. Very much.
Are you
case by
still
case.
offering the one-on-one consults and
Yeah.
do that stuff?
Yeah, I'm actually in the process of changing my packages and like pricing and services right now. They should be uploaded to the website this weekend, but still, feel free to shoot me an email. It's just Hannah Boyl, HANNAHBOYL @absofruitly.com. And I'm kind of, like I said, in the process of reworking packages right now. So definitely we'll just make something work. But what I found is that I started doing initial consultations and I offered them as just something individual. Like I offered an initial consultation and then, if you wanted to, you could do a follow-up. But I found that people were falling off way too fast and they weren't coming back. And, not necessarily because they didn't want to, but it's just kind of one of those things they forgot about it or they got too busy. So now what I'm going to start doing is I am going to offer packages where, you get a Kickstart month package. You're going to get an initial assessment. You're going to have 2 follow-up visits where we schedule them 2 weeks apart already, whether that be just a Skype call, a phone call. We meet up for 5 minutes, like whatever, just to like check in and reassess your goals. Cause I'm, going to give you like little tasks to work on. There's another package, like the ultimate package where I'm going to have, like a grocery store tour. Like a lot of people don't know how to shop in a grocery store, or it's also going to offer kind of like a mini course for reading nutrition labels, like just teaching people how to read nutrition labels even when they're at the grocery store.
I'm literally shaking my head about the labels and like my fists at the same time because
Tony, Leon says do yoga and Pilates. That will help for your back.
Yeah. No, it doesn't.
yeah.
So
nutrition labels are just a nightmare.
Yeah, so that's, in my current course that I have, which you can find at absofruitly.thinkific. So that's ABSSOFRUITLY.THINKIFIC.com. That offers the
You're such a great speller.
I feel like I'm in a spelling bee right now, dude. Seriously.
Ding.
Yes. No, if you go there, that's actually the basics course that Tony actually did in person. It's the same course, the same content. It's really informal, but it includes that nutrition label content in there. I'm actually thinking about doing a whole course just on nutrition labels. So it's going to be a whole, like, very step-by-step, it really going to dive deep into nutrition labels.
What cracked me up about when we did that class in person was it was so funny because I got reduced sodium. And it was hilarious because when they say reduced sodium, it is such a fallacy.
Oh, absolutely.
Because when I looked at the regular box of Zatarain's Dirty Rice, and then I looked at the reduced sodium box of Zatarain's Dirty Rice, it was maybe 100 milligrams less. And it was what was like 1/3.
Yeah. So the way that works is that's another thing that I provide in those courses is links to these references and stuff. But the government has certain guidelines to how food can actually be labeled.
Always the government.
Yeah, exactly. So if it has a label that uses the word low, there's a certain percentage of how much less it has than the original product. If it says that it has like all these health claims, like if it has a certain amount of fiber, it can say that it's good for this, or if it has a certain amount of whole grains, it can say it's good for this. But there are very specific definitions. And the way that it works is that if a product has a percentage less for Tony's rice, a percentage less of sodium, it's considered low sodium because it has that much less percentage than the original product.
When it really doesn't.
It's still awful for you. Like it's still all of your sodium for the day.
What was it, like 560 milligrams or something like that? And that's reduced.
Right. And that was for one serving. And what did you have, like 3?
Yeah, it was three servings per box.
Mind you, your total for the day is like 2,300. So you're already at like over 1,500.
Yeah.
just for that. And that's the thing too, is like the processed food, the prepackaged, the easy stuff.
Well, that's
is
the
horrible.
thing. Yeah, even the frozen meal, like the healthy frozen meals that you get, they have a ton of sodium in them.
Yeah.
Like
People add salt.
Yeah, the next time that you go get a lean cuisine, please look at the salt content for me and just humor
Think
me.
about it.
Think
for a
about it
second.
for a second.
Bad. Yeah, it's bad.
And post your results on her Facebook.
Yeah, I would love to see your results.
Some of us are just lost causes.
See, now
I said the same thing to Jason.
Jason.
I'll say it
did.
now.
Not just in religion,
No.
you are also a lost cause in health.
Yeah.
Diet and
Fitness.
exercise.
I'm just gonna die old and alone. Well,
But
probably
you'll be
young.
preserved.
Probably young and alone.
But you'll be preserved because of all the salt.
Yes,
and
your body will preserve well.
You're
Sweet.
pickled. You will be.
Awesome.
So what are some of the other questions that we have
Yeah.
for Hannah?
Yes. And how much fiber is too much fiber for a daily diet?
Generally, if it's liquid.
Oh, I don't want to think about
So
the
the
white pants approved thing.
White pants approved.
The recommendations for fiber, it's right around 25 grams for women and 38 grams for men. So that's kind of whereabouts you want to be. And fiber, essentially, it's gonna. I hate saying this, and I hate answering questions about that like this, but it's going to be based on how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Nutrition is so trial and error. Like I give people meal plans, and they pay me a good chunk of change for meal plans, and I
Right.
feel bad when I give them to them and be like, hey, this might not work.
Basically,
Sorry.
she's saying stop trying to get freebies, guys.
Right. No.
In a nice
No.
way.
Well, but you work so incredibly hard to individualize these plans. for
Right.
people.
And that's the thing, is like, that's why I tell people, like, okay, I'm giving you a meal plan for a week. Let's try this for 2 weeks. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you don't like, because 2 weeks from now, I'm going to change it if
Right.
things need to be changed. And that's another thing too, is that sometimes 2 weeks isn't even enough to figure it out. Sometimes you need 4 to 6 weeks to figure out if something is actually going to work for you and make you feel better.
Right.
For example, like the ketogenic diet, somebody that is an athlete, and when they go on the ketogenic diet, their performance plummets to like 0
Right.
because they're not used to burning fat. Their body has to become fat adapted. Like, where is all that glucose that they're used to burning? So it takes about 6 weeks for your body to get back up to baseline performance level if you're subscribing to it for that full 6 weeks. If you fall off at any point in time and start burning carbs again, your body's got to relearn how to burn fat again. I mean, it may not take as long,
Right.
but you can't go back and forth.
There's so much to it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it changes all the time.
Yeah,
A lot.
and-
A lot.
Yeah, and there's always new science. So technically, the science of nutrition is fairly new. Like, I am going to the Food and Nutrition Conference and Expo in October in Chicago, and this is our 100th year anniversary of just being the Academy. So, I mean, it's only like the Academy itself is only 100 years old. So, I mean, the science is not much older than that.
So you're saying shortly after World War I is when we started
Yes.
to eat somewhat healthy.
So you-
That's when you started getting recommendations for
Wow.
eating
So
healthy.
you were around for that, right, Tony?
Oh yeah.
You remember that?
I was there for the hip 20s.
I bet.
Yep.
And I guess this question I'm kind of curious about too. Is dairy a diet killer?
No, not necessarily. It depends on what type of diet you're on, how much dairy you have, and what types of dairy you're getting. So,
And if you're lactose intolerant.
correct. So, I mean,
I
if you're,
imagine that might help.
if you're lactose intolerant, you're screwed. Don't do it to yourself. Don't even try.
Oh, don't do the sugar-free stuff either. Like the sugar-free ice cream.
Okay, here's
I
my
died
okay.
on that.
Let's go down this rabbit hole.
Yeah,
Bring it.
sorry. I had
Bring
to.
Sugar free.
Ugh.
If you look at the other ingredients and how much shit is like just processed junk, you might as well eat the full sugar stuff. You might as well.
What is it, like high fructose corn syrup and sodium? I mean, I looked at after I had the class
Mhm.
and was like, okay, this is sugar free. Great. So let's look at what else is actually on the nutrition
Yeah.
label. And it was
And let's
almost
look
double
up what
the
these
sodium.
things mean.
Right.
Yeah. So, for all you guys out there that like your sugar alcohols, They like.
Joey.
Okay, that's not what I meant by alcohol. So for like these sugar replacers, the sugar alternatives, they actually have a laxative effect.
They do. I know this.
Personal experience.
Mhm. Blue Bunny ice cream is the devil.
Yes. So erythritol is the only one that doesn't have the laxative side effect. All the other ones do to an extent. Xylitol is another one that's okay. And then, so if you're gonna try to sweeten anything naturally, go with stevia.
Yeah.
That's
And you can grow that in your own garden.
Yeah, I mean, and that's okay. Not the stevia that has like some of the stevias have they're like a blend of other sugar alcohols with stevia. That stuff's shit too. Like, don't do that. Just straight
It's not
stevia.
worth it, huh? No.
You heard it here first. It's shit.
It's shit.
That's like is that like the Truvia? Or
Truvia.
is that
No, I
legit?
believe Truvia is actually just a name brand of stevia.
Okay, all right. I was
Yep.
just wondering. I'm like, is that a blend? Splenda and all that crap.
Oh, Splenda is.
Oh, I know. Well, yeah.
have to
I'm not
read
trying to
the
reel you in on
nutrition
this.
label.
Thank
No.
you, Tony. You took the words out of my mouth.
Oh, I know. I know.
The ingredients should only say stevia. Yeah, definitely watch those labels.
Yeah. Well, I know for sure with the Splenda stuff. Like my brother used to get major headaches, and my aunt too.
Yeah,
like, that stuff.
aspartame.
Ugh.
Isn't
There
that the same ingredient in like was it antifreeze?
there were a lot of okay, so I have kind of a love-hate relationship with those kind of claims. Yes, a lot of those things are bad for you, and like the way that people can kind of like link that in their brain is by saying that it's linked to something that you shouldn't be eating. But then again, you change one thing in a molecular structure and it totally changes.
Right.
Like you have like table salt, for example.
And it turns into cyanide.
Well, like if you have sodium and chloride, and you put them together, and you get sodium chloride table salt.
Right.
You have those things separate, and you can't ingest it.
No.
But you put them together, and it makes a different chemical compound, and it's something that we have every day. So that's kind of one of those things where, yeah, okay, it's the same thing, or it's one molecule off, but after learning about chemistry, that one molecule makes a huge difference.
Right. Well,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
like, was it the one joke? Two scientists walk to the bar, and one orders H2O, and the other one orders H2O2, and the second one dies because
Yes.
yeah.
I do have
Go to-
another question,
Go to bed,
and
Tony.
it's past his bedtime actually.
No, it's not. I don't have a
There's
bedtime.
There's another question: is honey a better sweetener?
Oh, honey is still sugar. Honey is actually a refined sugar. It's natural, so it's not. I mean, that's a tough one.
No, I heard honey is also a great antiseptic too,
hmm
because bacteria can't grow in it.
I mean, honey is still sugar. You're getting sugar either way. I wouldn't say that it's a good alternative to sugar. No.
I have a question.
Yes.
Are avocados a superfood?
Ooh, I love avocados. Yes,
too.
they are. When it comes to a lot of like vitamins and minerals in foods, fruits and vegetables, the different colors have different types of what are called phytochemicals, different types of vitamins and minerals. But avocados are really good because they have a healthy fat. They have a good source. They're a complex carbohydrate. They're a little bit of everything. And I mean, they definitely, I don't know all of the science behind avocados, but I do know that there are definitely phytochemicals in there that are a great support for any.
Because these guys give me shit, but I do look after myself a little bit. So I've completely cut butter out of my diet for the most part,
Nice.
and I like replace it with avocado spread instead.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, being on a ketogenic diet, a lot of people question butter versus other oils and stuff like that. And that, I mean, you still want to focus on plant oils and like plant-based fats if you can. So butter isn't going to be bad every once in a while, but I mean, if you can use coconut oil, avocado oil, and olive oil in your cooking, that's a way better option.
Yeah.
That's what I use in my zucchini bread is extra virgin olive oil.
So that makes it healthy.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
it's so good.
What about the pink Himalayan salt? Like, what's the difference between?
It's just different types of minerals. So you're getting
Right.
different minerals. Yep. Or actually, not even necessarily different minerals, but more minerals. So your table salt is only the sodium and the chloride. Your Himalayan pink salt has, numerous other things in it.
Same thing with like the Hawaiian black salt.
I'm not familiar with that.
I actually have some of that if you'd like me to go get it.
You stumped her.
You did something.
I opened the cupboard the one day. I was like,
Well, hold on. I'll go
the
get
salt
that.
is black.
The salt is black.
Interesting.
But yeah.
All right,
And
cool.
also, Leanne says that you should do a segment about food alchemy, learning your food elements.
Way to be
It's pretty
unprofessional, Tony.
interesting.
Leaving the
It
room like
is.
that.
We don't need them.
don't-
I
you
think we got
You don't
this.
see me doing stuff like that.
Yeah, you don't.
I've been here the whole time.
Mhm.
Didn't even notice.
You had to go out and.
I had to pee.
Oh.
If
So way
we're,
to be-
if
way
we're
to be
being open.
Way to be professional about this.
Yeah, that reason, man.
Yeah.
I want to take a second to say that we are. What was I going to say?
Oh, did you
Completely
lose
blank.
it?
No. You guys asked us about the tabletop show that you wanted us to do, and I'm not going to spoil too many details, but we are working on it, and be on the lookout for some announcements in the near future. That's
Okay. This is basically sea salt with charcoal in it, and that's it. That's the only difference.
Nice.
it. Ha, you're not special.
What? I didn't know.
Charcoal is still good. I
Was
mean,
it more expensive
Supposed to be
than
good.
sea salt?
No, it was actually the same price. They just
Oh.
had different colors, and well, I like color in food, so
Is
Like
it? I feel like
why not?
I
Wax
feel
the
like
color.
I feel like charcoal is probably not a good thing to eat.
there are different forms of it. Like, I mean, a lot of like health food stores sell activated charcoal to take, and like I'm totally like misplacing the actual use for it, but there's a lot of nutritional uses for it.
It's
So it's
really
in a
good.
pill.
on-
Like I mean, in GNC, it's in a pill form.
I've seen that. Yeah.
It's really good on cucumbers. It looks a little weird. It's like it looks like your cucumbers are dirty, but it tastes great.
Interesting.
Did you try some of it?
I'm not gonna put it in my coffee.
No, just like shake a little bit in your hand, and
Yeah, that would be delicious.
Why are you being weird?
He
We're
just
not
is.
supposed to
don't
make this
make this
weird.
weird.
It's too late.
I mean, we started it off with a bang.
Yeah,
Sure did. Sure did.
Man, I feel like that intro was wasted too.
No, that's a bummer. It was a
Oh
good
wow, it's
intro.
really salty.
Well,
it's
it's salt.
salt.
Yeah, I would imagine.
It's
Oh.
interesting.
Probably about as salty as me right now from all those technical difficulties.
I was gonna say, how you doing over there?
I've got like no drive over here, man. I'm so
Break.
burnt
You're like
out.
a neutral.
Yeah, and I still got a stream tonight too on my channel.
Speaking of your channel, like tell listeners a little bit about the other thing you're doing.
Well,
Yeah.
I just kind of got back into streaming and stuff on my own. I have a gaming channel. It's Cap'n Milk, CAPNMILK. And I'm doing a modded Fallout 4 survival playthrough. So if you're into that kind of thing, go ahead and check that out. I just stream kind of whenever. Like,
Randomly, just
yeah.
whenever you feel
Well,
like it.
I'm using like the streaming as more of a way to just automatically archive and upload because I'm lazy. But yeah, you can check it out. It's more of like an episodic thing than a stream. So
It's actually pretty funny. I was watching some of it before we started the podcast today, and well, that's a bad idea. We're not going over there again. That's a whole lot of
yeah,
nope,
it's
nope.
a lot of me dying and yelling at my TV. So
I need to tune into this.
It's
pretty-
funny.
It's a good time.
I did start watching it. I'm not gonna say that I didn't, so and that's the nice thing about where I work. I can put my headphones on and listen to that stuff. So
That's
So,
awesome.
do we have any more questions for Hannah on the chat?
no. Not yet. I mean, I'm pretty caught up with them.
Nice. All right.
Staying on top of things over
I
there.
am. You and like always.
So now, are you going to be doing another nutrition class like you did the one with me and what was it, a handful of other ladies that were there?
You
No,
calling yourself a lady?
simply because I found a lot of the response that I got from doing that course is that it didn't fit in with people's schedules, and that's why I'm converting to online courses. Just based on, I can't necessarily offer that to people like every 3 months based on what my schedule already is. If I want to keep up with personal client, if I want to keep up with one-on-one clients, my
Right.
school, and then my other job, like, I mean, online courses are going to be the best way to go for me, for you guys to still get the information.
Okay.
But me to save that time, and that's why I'm also looking into definitely looking for feedback. So anybody that has any ideas of what they want on a course for nutrition, definitely let me know, because I'm open to ideas for whatever courses you guys wanna have. So.
And on the bright side of doing an online course, you don't have to see Tony's ugly mug.
True.
So, I
She
I
still
have a
has to
face
see
for
him.
podcast.
She still has to see him when he goes in for his chiropractic
I do.
care.
I am the only one that actively talks to Hannah, and she laughs at me.
I
think
talked to her.
it's a mercy laugh, but
I've
I mean,
said
I don't
hi.
know.
And I was like, she's like, oh, you hang out with Tony. I'm like, yeah,
Wow, can
I
you feel the
do.
love? I can
It's
feel
finally nice to have it hitting on.
it. Bring it.
I just shit on everybody. So
We're just gonna start a PO box for your hate mail now.
P.O. Box, hate mail, Joey.
Hate mail, Joey.
nobody's gonna send me hate mail. I'm a darling.
But yeah, I mean, with the online course, like, I mean, a lot of people couldn't come at a certain time, couldn't come on certain days, and I can't necessarily offer it on every day of the week and every possible time. So you can go on there, take as long as you want. I want to say that once you sign up for the course, you have access to it for a full year.
Nice.
You can download I want to say I even made it so that you can download the audio, you can download the PowerPoint. So, I mean, if you download anything, you have access to it forever. Don't necessarily have to be online to listen. If you want to download the audio for it and want to listen to it while you're driving, kind of like a podcast, you can go ahead and do that as well.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Leon did say that nutrition on a budget is something that he would like to see.
Nutrition,
And
absolutely.
that's really hard.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
can be.
That's kind of what like my brother is kind of working on changing his diet, and he's like, what do I do? Like, what kind of foods can I have? There's a lot of resources out there, like, grocery shopping for this much a month, but like, definitely a lot of people kind of get lost and like they want to buy fruits and vegetables and be quote unquote healthy, but sometimes the cost of vegetables that are out of season skyrocket.
Oh,
Or a lot of the times what you can do is you can buy the frozen vegetables. If you're in a pinch, go ahead and buy frozen vegetables, as long as the vegetables or the fruit or whatever you're buying frozen is the only ingredients. That's when nutrition labels and knowing how to read those really comes into play. So ingredients, make sure that the vegetable or fruit is the only ingredient. There's nothing weird added to it, and you should be getting the same amount of nutrients.
There you go. So don't make this weird even when it comes to your vegetables.
Right, don't add any weird shit to your vegetables.
No, don't need that.
So now, how does that work with like herbs and spices?
Mhm.
Eating healthy, because I use a lot of like turmeric, white pepper.
We get it, you cook dog.
Turmeric
No.
is actually an awesome, like, I put turmeric on everything
So do I.
because it is an anti-inflammatory agent. So certain herbs and spices do have kind of beneficial effects for your body. I mean, there's a laundry list of those. I'm not going to try to pull those off the top of my head.
Right.
But I mean, definitely, like, maybe that's even something that I could do, like a post on if people are interested, do a little bit of research on, if I get some feedback that people might be interested. But turmeric is a good one. You can actually get turmeric in a capsule if it's something where you're having joint issues, if you really need that much of it.
What about crushed red pepper?
Red pepper, like, actually cayenne pepper, like, I mean, I use just the ground.
Because I put that on everything.
It's a metabolism booster.
Because I love I love spicy foods.
Yes.
Sriracha. is amazing.
Sriracha.
Yeah, so I mean, definitely, like, herbs and spices don't necessarily have a caloric value, but they do have the properties to be beneficial for the body.
So when you're eating like your plain chicken breast or your plain rice, you can sprinkle some of that on there to add
Oh,
flavor.
for sure.
Okay,
Who
cool.
eats that plain?
I don't. That's why I like my rice dirty.
I take my chicken breast and I just cover it in Italian dressing. Just bathe it.
Just what you
Marinate
doing?
it.
Drown it.
What you doing? Just bathing my chicken in
So
some
bathe it.
Italian.
Bathe in my chicken.
Can you give us like a quick healthy meal just off the top of your head?
Well, okay. Now I'm going to tell you what I tell everybody else that asks me the same damn question.
No freebies, bitch.
Right.
What diet are we subscribing to?
Yeah, which one?
How many calories do we need?
Yeah, you don't have it at the top of your head, do you?
Well,
So to ask her to do it off the top of her head.
well, that's what I'm asking because I honestly don't know, and I'm pretty sure a lot of our listeners don't know the proper question to ask before you even get to that
Right.
meal plan.
Yeah. So, I mean, essentially, like you ask me for a healthy meal, and I'm going to ask you height, weight, age to figure out how many calories you need a day. I'm going to ask you what meal it's for and what types of foods you like, because I'm not going to give you a meal plan with foods that you don't like. That's one thing. Like a lot of personal trainers that are giving out meal plans are giving out shitty meal plans because they're giving you one day that's
Yeah.
supposed to be for like the whole week or the whole month.
Because if somebody tells me to eat bananas, I'm gonna punch them in the teeth.
Right. And they don't ask you like what foods you want or what you don't want. Like my meal plans, like when I sit down to do a person's meal plan, it takes me an hour to 2 hours every time I sit down to do it. But I'm going to make sure you like the foods. If I send it to you and you don't like something on there, I'm going to change it and I'm going to make something work.
Well, and that's what I was getting at is the fact that, okay, there's obviously a lot more important questions that you have to ask before you even get to the meal plan.
Yeah. I mean, that's why like people come to me and ask for a meal plan. I'm like, hold up. I would really love for you to do an initial assessment first. Like and that's the thing, like a lot of people, I mean, when they're pushing like these health and fitness like packages and, you know, their training and everything like that, they just want you to buy as much product as possible. For me, I would rather, like, I want you to be able to do this without me someday.
Mm-hmm.
So I always tell people, like, when they ask me for a meal plan, I'm like, wait a second. Let's start with an initial month package where you have an initial assessment. You're going to get a shit ton of information from me with your initial assessment. You're going to get a breakdown of a 24-hour recall.
Right.
I'm going to figure out what you normally eat. I'm going to figure out what you like, what you dislike, what, you know, health issues you have, what strengths you have, what weaknesses you have when it comes to food and nutrition. I'm going to figure out your eating habits, what time of day you eat, how many times a day you eat, what your issues are as far as like portion control. I'm going to figure out not even like examples of goals to give you for what to eat, but how to eat. So I met with a client this week, and any advice that I gave her was not what she should eat, it was how she should eat. So that's, I mean, on a completely different level that a lot of people don't even get to if they just straight up ask for a meal plan. So
that's a better leading question to how should I eat as opposed to what should I eat.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, and with that, people are going to get, you know, I give them like a sample day. I'm like, here's what a day looks like. Here are the things that I want you to start to implement. First, follow up with me in 2 weeks, and then in another 2 weeks after that. I mean, I offer people, like, people can email, like, I check in with them weekly, like just a minor check in, like, hey, how you doing before our next follow-up appointment. And then, you know, just if they have questions, unlimited emails, like just send me an email. I'll get back with you in 24 to 48 hours. But a lot of people, I find that if they just jump into a meal plan, I'm going to give them a meal plan. They're going to look at it and just be like, holy shit, what am I doing? Like, I don't know. Like, this is not, like, you're completely changing the way that I eat.
Right.
So I find it much more beneficial to give people the initial assessment, give them 2 or 3 things to change. They come back in 2 weeks. We'll see how they're doing. If they've changed those things and they're feeling good about it, another 2 or 3 things. And that's how I really like to implement change in a diet, because that's going to give you the most success. Like, people that come to me and jump right into a meal plan, I'm like, hold up.
Right.
You got to understand that. And that's the thing. Like, I tell people, I'm like, I don't want you to have a meal plan from me. Like, that's probably one of my more expensive services, but I don't want you to have to use that.
Right. Well, that's the thing that I loved about the nutrition class in and of itself, is it was the fact that you educated us on science of how your body works, how it processes this, how it processes that. So then we can make educated decisions.
Exactly. So you can do it on your own.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I am like kind of debating doing a meal planning course. Like, it's going to be a definitely more intensive course. I will, you know, give you like the different documents and stuff that you need, but I've definitely considered it because, like I said, I want people to learn how to do this on their own. If they need a set meal plan, I want them to learn how to do it on their own. I can't do 500 meal plans.
Well, you can't
a
walk.
week.
You can't like hold their hand through everything.
Exactly.
Either. I mean, I understand there's a point when someone needs help, they need help.
Yeah. Like I've done stuff, specifically for athletes. They're like, hey, I'm on a strict plan. I need you to tell me exactly what to eat, or, I'm just not having any luck. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have time. Just help me out for a while.
Right.
And that's the thing. After I do meal plans for 3 to 6 months, people just start eating that way habitually.
Right.
So it gets easier.
Well, I do have a question in chat, and hey, Darian, it's good to see you back again.
Welcome back.
Yeah, she's wondering what are some foods that are high in iron.
High
I
iron.
actually said it right this time. I usually don't say it right.
Iron.
Iron. What is iron?
You know what? I honestly that's the issue with vitamins and minerals is there's so many different things, so many different foods. But what I will do for Darian, is that who it is?
Yeah.
Darian, be sure probably within the next 2 days, I will have them post a link on the Don't Make This Weird podcast site with high iron foods for you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sweet. Very cool. Yeah, that's a good question.
Keep them questions coming. We have her for a little bit longer,
Yes,
and then she's got to roll out.
I say it every podcast. You guys are the driving force behind the podcast.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. We do this because we love doing it.
Yeah.
We love, having this conversation with you guys.
Mhm.
So as long as you're listening, we're talking.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we have some of the coolest guests come on too,
we do.
especially that, like Hannah educating us on not so much how to put a meal plan together, but how to educate ourselves to put our own meal plans together.
And that's the thing, like I want you guys to understand too. I just actually made an Instagram post about this the other day. It was a picture of a Mountain Dew and a Reese's candy bar because that used to be my breakfast every day my senior year of high school.
When I have
32-ounce Mountain Dew, and then it was either Chex Mix or Reese's every day.
when I worked at Walmart for a long time, my breakfast every morning was a Mountain Dew and one of those $1 chocolate pies.
Nice.
And yeah, I felt like shit
Like
every day.
like the round chocolate pies, or like the Hostess.
Like the host is like
the weird shape.
it's like shaped like a calzone or whatever
Yeah.
for some reason.
But
waxy.
I felt like crap, and that wasn't my only Mountain Dew or my only energy drink for the day because I would start off my school day like that, go to work after school, and I would just like have it zero energy. I felt awful, but my point behind that is like everybody has their quote unquote Mountain Dew and Reese's, and you just have to become educated. Like I'm not perfect. I'm still human. I still eat donuts. Like donuts are good.
What?
Exactly.
Well, you can't not.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like I go places and like I don't want to feel bad about what I'm eating. Like I eat good a good percent of the time. So when I'm out in public, it's usually for like some kind of special event or function. So when I'm eating that cookie and you're giving me a look and be like, well, aren't you supposed to be the healthy one? Aren't you the dietitian? I'm like, yeah, but I can have a cookie. And you know what? I'm not gonna judge you if you have a cookie too. That's what we're here for.
Right. It's when you start doing it every single day,
I
and
find
that
it-
becomes like an addiction.
Yeah.
The
Sugar is an addiction. Absolutely.
I find my health has fluctuated over the years, because when I was in high school, I was super into boxing and stuff, and I would try to stay in shape for that. And then when I was getting out of high school, I was going to join the army. So
Mhm.
and now it's just like I just don't give a shit.
You have to have like that motivating factor to get you
Right.
back
I'm like,
into it.
yeah, because I'm just like, what do I do? I just sit at home all the time and come
That's
here
gonna
and
change.
hang out with you fucking assholes.
Aw.
So you're
Not you,
saying,
Hannah. These
So you're saying that you're happy that this broadcast is brought to you by Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sure. I don't know what I'm saying, to be honest.
He's just saying
We're helping you find the motivation, Joey.
We need to get the motivation. I
But
need
yeah.
it too. I'm a dumpling, so that's okay. I get it. Like that whole thing where, oh, are you an apple or you're pear shaped? Are you? No, I'm a dumpling. Why is that not on there?
Well,
Why is that not an option?
I mean, it's funny when I first started coming back to the
The
studio, I was
Yeah.
actually on a diet.
You
and I was
were.
actually
Yeah.
working out every day and stuff, but it's just like
I need a heavy bag out there.
Yeah.
What?
Teach me how to box.
Yeah.
Heavy bag. But you have to bring it down lower so I can reach it.
I guess there's no time like the present really to
Really, yeah.
start getting back into it because I love fighting and I would like to get back into fighting in some way.
But yeah, I mean, everybody has their different lifestyles, and that's kind of one of those things. Like, I think I've tried just about everything. Like I said, I've been that like sugar binging individual, and that's why I have blood glucose issues now. Unfortunately, as I ruined myself at 18, and now at 23, I'm pre-diabetic.
Diabetes.
Yeah.
Are you into combat sports?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Who's your favorite fighter? Not boxer,
Oh.
fighter.
Like MMA?
Yeah.
Well, it used to be Ronda Rousey, and then she fell off the planet.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
Demetrius Johnson.
Me. I was gonna say.
We're now best
I was
friends.
waiting for you to say like.
friends.
I was waiting for you to say like Conor McGregor or something,
No.
or like some basic answer, and I'm like,
I want to like John Jones, but I don't know if I can.
oh, he's like, no, he's completely. I'm like I just can't trust him anymore.
No.
He said Step Brothers moment in the studio.
But, okay, how did we just go from like me talking about a sugar binge to UFC?
Well, I was just it
Don't
popped
make
into
this
my
move.
it popped
That's
into my
okay.
head.
See, that's
so.
what happens around here.
Anyways, back on my tangent. So what I was getting at is I've been partly vegan. I went vegetarian. I went the whole like low carb route. I went like the average route. So basically, what I'm saying is that I mean I totally understand. I can relate. So if that's, I just want to encourage you to be able to ask me questions and reach out to me.
And what Darian said, awesome. I've been told many times that I need more iron. I eat tons of spinach. Just would like to know more. Thanks.
It depends. Is it by a health professional that she's being told? Because iron overdose is actually incredibly common.
I've
So,
heard that.
Yes. So don't. I would say go to your doctor, get your iron actually tested if you haven't done that already. If it's your doctor telling you you need more iron, I would ask them if they recommend a supplement or if you continue just using your diet. So that's something to be aware of there.
I just want to steer the conversation back on that.
Okay.
Because I never have anybody to talk to because these two don't know anything about it. But
I mean, I don't know a whole lot about it, but I watch enough to be.
did you watch the McGregor Mayweather fight?
I sure did.
It was a good fight.
It was a good fight.
I mean, I called what was going to happen. So.
I mean, I think Conor definitely was more impressive looking than most people anticipated.
Yeah, I think there's talk that they might have another fight.
Oh,
Are they
geez.
still speculating that?
Yeah, I hope.
Don't-
I
Well,
hope Floyd doesn't do it because there's no reason for him to do it except for the money. But like, why would you continuously risk? You know,
well,
he's
I don't think he's coming
he's
back.
40 years old.
And he just won his 50th fight. Like, leave it at that, man.
Yeah.
It's good. You're good.
But yeah, back to the John Jones thing.
Well, I do have a question though too.
What's up?
Don't we have some local fighters here
We sure
in
did.
Caro?
Yeah.
I know Adam.
Yep.
I used to train with him. And cry cardio.
Yeah, I definitely want to
cry a lot.
I really want to get into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's just I don't have the money.
Doesn't
for
he
it
do
right now.
that? Is that
Yeah,
what he does?
he does that. Yep.
It's the best. I want it. I want to learn it so bad.
Yeah, we
But I
actually
just
got a
don't have
history
the time.
lesson last night on that. It was 1912, wasn't it? Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
Around that is it's something around there because I said like 1960 or something.
Yeah.
Like, that, like something way off base. But I got the Gracie family right.
Yes,
because I
you
do know my
Yes,
shit.
Gracie family.
So
Very cool.
I just don't know. I didn't know the time for sure.
Well, maybe you could hook up with some of those guys that are fighting around here.
Yeah, if you guys are listening, shout out to y'all.
I
So,
definitely want to get back into it.
your thoughts on John Jones?
I'm heartbroken
I want
because
to like it. Like
because who else is there? He's the greatest fighter in the MMA, and like the greatest heavyweight for sure. And he's fucked himself so many times.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you continue
there was
to
a
follow him?
post on Twitter that said it was I want to say it was a couple weeks before the fight, and it said DC claimed the last time I only won because I was on steroids. What is he gonna claim this time when I beat him? And I was like, oh, but you just tested positive for something. Like
Yeah.
what? So I mean, I don't know. It goes both ways. Like there's still part of me, like in my heart, that I just want it to come out and be like,
And what
oh,
do
we
you-
fucked up.
And what do you do when you're Daniel Cormier, like, and you get the belt back? Like Dana White gives you the belt back, and he's
And then
like,
you're like, oh yeah, in a
he's
year.
like, hey, you're the champ again.
Yeah,
you know?
when John Jones comes back in a year after his suspension, you're gonna fight him again.
Yeah, and he's gonna punch your face in again. And
Oh my gosh, when he got interviewed after that fight, did you see that?
well, that was a mistake by Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
And I mean, he apologized.
He apologized for it.
Because he's the one that like helped get that rule in place not to interview
Exactly.
fighters after they get knocked out.
Exactly, but like that's just, I mean, just goes to show like really how intense that sport is and how like real
Yeah.
brain trauma is.
I mean, it sucks. It sucks because I like Daniel Cormier
hmm
and I want to like John Jones, but he keeps fucking up. And when his suspension is up, he's just going to beat him again. Because like
Right.
I don't know why he does it, because he doesn't need steroids to win, because he's just a tremendous fighter. So it's like, why? Like,
Yeah.
I get it. I get wanting the edge or whatever, but I don't know.
Yeah, it does suck.
It's fucked up. But yeah, Demetrius Johnson is the man.
Yes.
Mighty Mouse.
Mighty Mouse.
Oh,
He's such
okay.
an
I was like, were you
My
talking
height.
about that?
He is an entertaining fighter too.
He is.
How
He's
tall are
very-
you?
5'2".
Dang it. Like, I'm 5'1".
I did grow like an inch. I was 5'1", and then I grew like an inch and a half in the last 2 years. So I don't know how that happened, but I'm just
Chiropractic.
chiropractic care.
Well, that's the thing too. Is
I
like
gained a half an inch.
I really want to drop weight if I get back into fighting.
Yeah.
I don't want to fight at heavyweight because I'll get my face just
Just get your ass handed to you.
for sure. But yeah, I
I don't think
definitely.
anybody wants to see your face all jammed
I know
up.
it's so beautiful. Why would you want to see that?
He's the pretty one in the group.
I mean, I try.
But another thing too, like before we started the podcast, we were just having our own kind of talk, and you were talking about how you used to dance.
Yes. I have been dancing since I was about 3 years old, and I ended up making a career out of it.
So wait a minute, you've been dancing for 20 years?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Not much else I've been doing for 20 years other than like walking and eating,
Breathing.
breathing,
That's a
maybe.
good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've been dancing for about 20 years. In high school, I actually started teaching. My mom and I kind of opened up our own studio in the basement of our house. Opened up a studio, kind of just really small, local, but it gave me something to do. Kind of gave me, well, I started dancing in Farmington Hills. My mom drove me to Farmington Hills once a week to go dance, and dance was a little bit more expensive there, so I helped pay for it. And then from there, once I started college, still continued. Somebody bought out the studio for my mom, and we still continued to do it. And then I went on to make a professional career out of it, and ended up dancing with the Pistons dance team for a year, and
That's
then
cool.
was an extra in a dance scene in a independent film.
Very cool.
What's the film?
What was the film?
You all want to know.
It's called Pitchfork. It is a independent horror film. It was actually filmed in Clare, Michigan.
Really?
Check that out.
Is that on Netflix?
It is not on Netflix. I do believe it is on Amazon, and it is at Family Video.
But speaking of horror, Heather,
Yes.
Wicked was a terror.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be opening up next weekend, the
Nice
15th.
segue.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not the only one who can do it, Heather.
I'm proud of you. I'm very proud. But yeah, next weekend is the Wicked Woods of Terror here in Carroll's opening up, and they've won some awards, and they've changed up a lot of stuff. Things are a lot different this year. They've added a whole bunch of new things.
Sweet.
So, and they are looking for volunteers.
So you just show up and like you're like, hey, I'm volunteer.
Well, you should probably contact them first, because if you show up, it's kind
But I
of.
mean, like I could just drop your name, right?
Well, I'm gonna take you out there.
What day are we doing that?
Just not Thursday because we have a podcast. Any day but Thursday.
Really? I didn't notice.
I'm thinking next Tuesday, but yeah,
Do
they're
they have a
opening up.
Facebook page?
Yeah, oh yeah, they definitely do. They are, blowing it up. They've come a long way. They've been doing it, I think, 12 years. I
Wow.
want to say. Yeah,
So you want to go out this? You're going out what day?
Well, I'm gonna check with them and see what day they're available. I know Emily said she was available, so Tuesday I'm gonna see if they're available, so we can check it out. There's costumes provided, unless you have something in mind. But
No
yeah,
idea.
Shout out to Ryan and Ryan.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. I never knew that I really liked to scare people.
I thought you said shout out to Duran Duran.
Duran.
And I'm like, well, I guess like sure.
Odd.
I love you. I love you all the time. It's a good song.
Everybody
yeah.
wants to rule.
But yeah, if
That was Tears for Fears.
Shut up.
yeah,
I'm wrong.
Wow,
Yeah.
where are you today?
Yeah. Also,
Night.
I'm not here. I'm having technical difficulties.
Ow, so am I.
just punch it. Why don't you?
I'm just
Getting
mad.
overexcited.
So angry here. So, but yeah, they're looking for volunteers, and it's running from September 15th, Fridays and Saturdays, until the very last weekend of October.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's fun. It's,
Yeah,
like I said, it's
I'm
volunteer,
excited for
but
it.
yeah.
So we got this figured out. You enjoy, you're going to be scaring the people while
Mhm.
Hannah's going to be educating them on how to eat. Help
Maybe
eat.
throw in a
Not
little dance
eating.
moves,
Yeah,
right?
there you go. Yeah, Leanne said
You
he
can do
needs
the
a
thriller.
dancer. Leanne
Oh
said he needs a-
yeah, choreograph the whole dance for you guys.
Yeah. Leanne's mentioning that he needs a dancer for Cogworks, which we have to talk about that sometime.
Yes,
on the
we can talk
podcast.
about that.
Yeah. Well, because now nobody knows what the fuck you're talking about.
Cogwork Slums Facebook page. Look it up.
We'll bring him back on so we can talk about it.
Will we though?
Yeah.
Just kidding. I love you, Liam.
He knows.
Does he?
So, but yeah, but very cool about the everything going on. Lots
Yeah.
of crazy stuff. I love fall though. My favorite time, and not because of pumpkin spice. Don't even look at me.
You a basic bitch.
No,
That's what you are.
nope, I'm sure not.
I did see something on the news that maple is the new fall flavor and it's taking over pumpkin spice. Which why the hell that was a story on TV5? I have no idea.
Running out of things.
I
It's
like
all
maple.
fake news.
But yeah, it's fake news.
What are those little maple candies? What are those
Oh,
called?
the goodies.
They're so
maple
good.
goodies.
I like them.
Just give me some maple syrup.
Oh, that makes me think of that in Super Troopers when they're chugging the syrup.
Such a
Oh,
Got them thin little bird lips.
They're coming out with Super Troopers too,
I know.
and I cannot wait.
The
and Joey
trailer.
actually put money towards that.
The trailer-
Yes.
yeah, I donated $20, so you can thank me personally for
For that
Super
movie.
Troopers 2. You're welcome, world.
Very well.
I did that.
So
Actually,
we're-
I'm just kidding.
How are we doing on time?
Oh, it's I don't know.
It's
We just can talk.
9:35.
We always
It's
talk. forever.
9:35.
So
We're good.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Any fun stories you want to get into?
Oh,
Raptor turkeys.
Raptor turkeys.
We already
Fuck
talked
raptor
about raptor
turkeys.
turkeys. We've been there, done that.
mhm.
Keep up, old man.
Yeah.
Get off my lawn!
So, anything going on for this weekend coming up?
I don't know. I think I'm just gonna sleep for the next week.
You're just gonna
Yeah.
recover from last
I
weekend.
can't even think of what I'm gonna do tomorrow.
Mhm.
Probably end up here.
Oh,
again.
the Colin Block Party is this weekend.
Oh, it is.
Will there be food?
Yes,
Is it free?
and yes.
Then I'll be there. I'm not a religious man, but I won't say no to
Free food?
free food.
Starts at 9:30 a.m. Sunday and goes to 2:30.
What's
PM.
What's on the menu?
Yep.
Is it like a barbecue?
They generally it's like a huge potluck type thing because there's
See that Jesus and pot. There you go.
That's right.
At the Callwood Church.
and luck
And luck.
and luck.
I need all three of those, probably.
Jesus, pot, and luck.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh, Joey, the list.
No, it's
Starting.
always a cool thing because we went there last year and it was awesome. They had bouncy
Will
houses.
the Looking Down band be playing?
No,
No.
Not thinking so.
Hmm.
but there will be live music there, and I'm curious to see who's actually there this year.
Slayer.
Cannibal Corpse, I think.
Oh,
Hmm.
let's see.
They're
I think
fighting
I feel like
for
we
the-
mentioned them a lot on the podcast.
I'm pretty sure if they
Them-
ever listen, they would be like, "Okay, we need to take out a restraining order against those people."
Probably. Same with Greta Van Fleet.
Greta Van
See,
Fleet,
there we go.
yes. Shout out to Greta Van Fleet.
That's
Yeah,
every week
we
now.
talk about them too much.
We
But they're
love
so
Greta Van
good.
Fleet. Have you heard
They
them,
are.
Hannah?
Oh,
You-
we
We're
do.
just gonna
have to
tell.
listen
We're
to
just gonna
them.
tell
Okay.
every guest about them.
Yes.
Yeah, we have to.
No, they're from Frankenmuth. They're awesome.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they. What was the statistic that you gave about the Pink Floyd The Wall and Metallica's Black
Oh,
Album.
I don't know if they still are, but they were the #1 rock album on iTunes over Pink Floyd's The Wall and Metallica's self-titled album and a bunch of other ones that no one cares about.
Nice.
And they're local boys. I mean,
Yeah.
they're literally a stone's
They
throw
are
away.
killing it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we want them to come on our podcast.
Me and Ian met the guitar player.
You should have.
Tell that story.
I wanted to wait till he's on.
Till Ian's on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to get Ian on for sure.
Yes.
Shout out to Ian.
Yes, we
Yeah.
do. But yeah, they're really good. And today I was like feeling so tired at work, and I just put them on, and I was like, okay, I'm up.
You know, today
I'm
I
awake.
actually started my day with like a bunch of energy, even though I only had like 4 hours of sleep. And like I'm in the shower, like going over like my intro and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be a good day. You know, it's my favorite day of the week. And I'm just like, man, I just want to fucking sleep.
Yeah, I woke up this morning dragging ass, and I'm like, how does that happen? Because I think I got, well, more than normal. Like I got 5 hours of sleep last night.
Depends on what sleep cycle you wake up in.
Yep.
If you're in light sleep, deep sleep, or in REM sleep.
Possibly.
So which one is when you wake up on the wrong side of the bed? Which is that?
I
The
really
bedpost.
like sleep. I've started using my Apple Watch to track my sleep, and there's actually a feature on here that so you use your phone and your watch in conjunction, but you set an alarm on your phone, and then you go in the settings and choose, like, if you want to do, like, you can go up to a couple, like an hour window. Like, so if your alarm is set at 5 o'clock, but your watch sees that your sleep cycle is optimal at 4:15, it'll wake you up at 4:15 instead.
Oh, I'd be angry.
Yeah, no way.
Seriously?
But essentially, you'll wake up feeling better because if you're in the more optimal sleep cycle, or the part of your cycle to be waking up.
So
Oh.
how does that work? Is
I
your
have
phone
no
like spy on
idea.
you or what?
Well,
Of course it
I have
does.
no idea.
I
technology.
promise you it doesn't work for me.
Is there a generic
No.
brand of this?
Like alarms do not work for me at all.
And
Like-
it's something in the sensor. I want to say it has, because it tracks your heart rate too. So I don't know if there's a
Okay.
correlation with heart rate and your sleep cycle, but
That's odd.
Because when we
It's
were
crazy.
when we did the relay,
Yeah.
I set an alarm for like 5 o'clock in the morning.
And you woke up at 6.
Like it was going off, it was buzzing, and I'm just like, I just can't do it. Can't be bothered.
I
I
slept
just
through
get
all mine.
I'm so irritable that the second it starts going off, I'm just like, you need to fucking stop now.
Have you seen those alarm clocks that actually like roll away from you and you have to go after it to
Yeah,
actually
Yeah, there's
shut
no
it off?
way. Fuck
I
that.
used
Why would
to-
I do that to myself?
when I was like, because I had that issue, like the go fuck yourself alarm when I was like working with the Pistons and my schedule was a shit show.
Patented.
Yeah.
I used an alarm that was called a math alarm, where you had to do math problems in
No.
order to shut it off.
I have a puzzle lock button
Yeah.
on my phone.
I'd be screwed.
Why would you
Like-
do that to yourself?
Math is hard.
Because I had to get my ass up and go to school. Like,
Mm.
if I was gonna make this work, I needed to get my
I
ass
just
up.
love sleep so much, and like I'll have those moments where the only thing that gets me up is like I have to be to work in 10 minutes, and I get that like, oh shit, wake up feeling. where
And so
I'm
you're
like,
just adrenaline
just-
dump.
like jolts me awake, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta go. And like,
Speaking of
Take
that, so Monday, I ended up oversleeping. Like I slept through my alarms, all 5 of them. Mhm. And so I like wake up going, oh my gosh, it's 9:45. I was supposed to be to work at 8. So I wake up and I give them a call and I'm like, can I speak to, my manager? She's like, well, she's not back there today. Okay. But I'll put you through. So I get the voicemail and I tell her I'm not coming in. Or I'm gonna be late. Come to find out, like nobody was working in my department. So yeah, I could have stayed up north an extra day.
wow.
Mhm.
Aren't you glad you came back though?
I am, yeah. I'm glad. But kind of, I don't know. I like it up there. It's so nice and relaxing.
Did we even do anything Monday?
Barbecue.
Barbecue.
I don't even remember.
See?
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah, because Keith, shout out to Keith.
Oh yeah, he did cook.
Did the burgers and the
that's
asparagus
right.
and the blue and onions that Heather made, which was absolutely
I-
amazing.
I wish I would have ate more of that food. To be honest, I had a hot dog and that was it.
That was all.
That's all you had?
That's literally all I
There's
had.
so much
But I
food.
ate before I came over though, because
Oh,
my
yeah,
family
that's
had a
right.
barbecue, and shame on me,
Yeah. Well, if you can't do it, you can't do it.
I guess.
Well, Heather did eat all of the jalapeno ham
I
rolls.
did not. I didn't even have one.
What the fuck, Heather?
Everybody's like angry at me because you keep telling this story and it's so not true. Like I
But
didn't
it
even.
is.
I didn't even have one. You stole
Okay.
the one I had off my
So-
plate.
Here's the story. No, I didn't. That was Keith. I
Throwing
some
Keith under the bus now.
jalapeno peppers in my garden. So I harvested a bunch of them. I'm like, okay, what can we do with these? Because we want to make jalapeno poppers, which is amazing.
Oh,
Without the bread.
okay. Hold up. Bacon wrapped jalapeno poppers if y'all on a ketogenic diet. Perfect. Keep
Really?
going.
That's exactly what it was going to be.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah. So
And gluten free because
Mhm.
we didn't have bacon. So I'm like, okay, well, let's make ham rolls. And they're like, that's odd. I've never heard of jalapenos and ham rolls. And I'm like, well, why not try it out?
I mean, you do pickles or onions, why not jalapenos?
Right. So we tried it out, and like we ran out of ham rolls or ham itself to make the rolls. So Kurt ran up to the store, got some more, and they just like disappeared.
Um,
Oh, the dip
For-
I made too.
for Canadian listeners, ham is not bacon. You're wrong. Just saying. It's just a fact. So you can shut up. I'm just
So-
kidding.
If somebody only ate jalapeno poppers when they were on the diet thing that you mentioned, 'cause
No.
No.
Wow. There's your answer.
That's all. That's the end of discussion.
Firm,
I feel.
firm
And-
answer.
That is a question that you can ask that I don't need to ask any other questions to answer.
Just
That's why I
straight up
asked
no. Just no.
But I'm going to anyway.
I totally did it just because.
Full disclosure, like total honesty, totally gonna do it anyway.
Yeah. Were they really hot?
No, they were really good. I mean, obviously, once you started digesting them, then the heat kicked in because it's like, oh, bad decision making. Wow.
And always wash your hands.
Yes.
Yes.
You're making. I'm like my blood sugar is low. I've just been drinking coffee all day, and now I'm starving. I'm so hungry.
Yeah.
Kirk, if you're listening,
Joey needs some avocados.
I need a emergency pizza stat.
Oh, that's awesome.
Good times,
Yes, yes.
man. What else is new, guys?
What are we
doing? What are we doing here?
who are we having on next week?
So my Chrome stopped working.
What?
Chrome not responding.
Are we still live?
Are we still broadcasting? Because I'm gonna
It says broadcasting
I'm
on
gonna
here.
freak out if we're not, Heather. I'm gonna come at you so hard,
Like a spider
fucking
monkey.
monkey on crystal meth.
It's not responding.
I'm gonna judo chop you, just in the forehead.
You need to know jujitsu.
Wow.
And yes.
That's true.
So yeah. It's,
So are we closing out then?
I've got the circle of. Yeah,
Hold
what's
on.
going
Oh.
We're
See
good
if we
though.
can
We're
hear.
still going. I think
You think?
maybe.
Oh, technical difficulties.
Oh,
Son of a-
So over it.
so
Yeah.
so done with it.
Are we still? Are we? Did you see?
It says we're going,
All right.
so I believe it. Not really.
I guess we should maybe
Just wrap it up.
call it a night.
Let's wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Till next time.
It's been fun though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks
And,
for coming on our show.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Sorry about our technical difficulties. We don't have our shit together as much